It's hard to understand how that you can go to church all of your life as we did and still feel like there's something missing even though you're in ministry full time. Something just inside of us was saying there's got to be something more.
We ended up finding a lot of people who were, involved in churches, but were dying because they weren't connecting with God.
And so we began to talk about what would it be like to start a church that would reach a generation that maybe at this point is getting really disillusioned. And we felt disillusioned to a large extent because there was things that we just felt like were missing. And that was really the first idea of City Center Church. And then other people came on board. And next thing we knew, there was about 11 of us that met.
Like when we first started meeting and talking about what this could look like, it was so exciting to think about the possibilities.
It was exciting but terrifying because none of us had ever planted a church before.
We spent 9 months in our home in Spruce Grove, praying together, laughing together, eating together, crying together. We just got to know each other and basically saying, Lord, give us the blueprint for where we should take this church.
It was like we took this risk in faith.
We had no idea if our 5 families were going to be the only people who showed up.
We started because we knew there was a need. The disenfranchised, the people that were looking for God but not in the established churches, were hungering for Him. They came.
It's kind of a scary yet exciting thing, and then to see people actually come week after week, and it was kind of like if God didn't show up, if God wasn't a part of this, it wasn't going to fly anyways.
Today, City Center Church finds itself located at the Paramount Theater, which is this really cool old theater on Jasper Avenue. And it's a great identity as if we find ourselves in the center of this city where involves all kinds of opportunities for social justice issues, but it also helps to really mix who we are as a church. So you have people that have all kinds of passions, all kinds of interests, all kinds of desires out of life, meeting in this unique environment, this old 1950s movie theater, pausing in their schedule to be able to say, God, who are you and what do you desire me to be? It is genuinely a community of people that are seeking authentic faith in their life, and it looks really different with each story that you meet, with each person that has come together into this big space. You hear inspiring testimony stories about people living their faith out. People will ask me, what is City Center Church? The more appropriate question, I think, is who is City Center Church? A City Center Church has brought together a mix of different people with different ideas, different thoughts, different experiences, coming for the purpose of meeting Jesus Christ. You have people who know the Christian faith, have lived the Christian faith, have all the answers for the Christian faith, to people who are asking questions, inquiring and wondering, what is Jesus really all about? People who are young executives and are making a career for themselves, to people who have made the career and have now retired, to people who are wondering what job could they find next, will they have a job next, to people who are courageous, who are Christ followers, who are passionate about living the Christian faith, to people who are bold, who are humble, to people who are fearing and wondering if this is true. All of these people trying to live an honest faith, as students, as moms, dads, single parents, youth, that in all those phases of life, that blend of people comes together to find Jesus Christ. That's what City Center Church is.
No, this isn't all about Sundays. We didn't really want this to be simply about people coming and meeting in a theater on a Sunday morning. We want it to be more than that. We want it to be about a community of people who are learning what it means to follow Jesus, learning what it means to love like He loved, and to have His heart. So this idea of Our Heart came about where our hope and our goal is to impact and influence not only our church on Sundays, but our city and our families and our friends every other day of the week. And not only just our city, but all around the world. Our heart is trying to grasp the fact that we have a role to play here in our city, as well as in our church and overseas. So yeah, it's about realizing God's call that is beyond ourselves and beyond just across the sea, but it's across the street as well.
I came in, we went and sat in the balcony, and just right away felt the freedom of the church. Felt like it didn't matter which way you worshiped. It didn't matter how. It was just, we were all coming there for just to worship God.
There's a willingness, there's a humility. There's not a canned approach like, oh, we know exactly what we're doing and we've got the show all together. And it's to some degree that sense of not knowing and sense of not feeling in control that makes me respect the ministry a lot.
Finding a place where our kids could be part of the church too.
Julie's just awesome. We really enjoyed how she engaged the kids, and they were really part of church rather than just being taken off to the side.
From our background, we had both been hurt by the legalism of churches and the expectations to be perfect, and Pastor Kevin is always kind of apologizing for the hurt that the church brings and for just the legalism and the damage that it does. And so we found a lot of healing in that, but it doesn't end there. Once the healing is found and once you find that freedom, there's a call to move forward, and there's a call for righteousness and authenticity. It's not a call to perfection.
I think one of the things that's kept me connected is that I feel like this is a space where it's cool to ask questions and think about things and to not have the answers. The chance to really figure out stuff, figure out my faith, figure out my relationship with Jesus and my relationship with other people.
For myself, it took me a little while to feel really connected. I wasn't putting myself out there enough. But once I put myself out there and really started to connect with some of the people at City Centre, I found that the heart of everybody was just very similar to where I was at, and very open and honest, and just God, it seemed like God put everybody there for me for where I was at in my life, and just to help me along with all the struggles that I deal with, and who knows, maybe I've been able to help other people along with my story and where I've come from and what I've done.
Definitely some of the relationships that I've built. Definitely the messages and the environment, the community that I've experienced here is one of the things that definitely has committed me, and the ministries that the church is involved has really connected to my heart, so I'm loving it.
I like going to church because I like going to kids' church, and it's a lot of fun.
What kept me staying here is the love and the appreciation of everybody.
For you to ask me the question of what will the next 4 to 10 years look like, I'm not really certain, but I do know this, that we're going to be where the people who make up City Centre Church are. That as we each fulfill our calling, as we each fulfill what God has called each of us uniquely to do in our communities, that's what City Centre Church will look like. It's beyond just an organization saying we're going to achieve this many churches by this number date, we're going to look this certain way. It's actually asking the community, say, what is God saying to you, and where is City Centre Church going as we go together? I think that's what City Centre Church will look like.
We want to follow Jesus and know that following Jesus involves sacrifice and commitment, and that in that process we become like him. And so the question of what do we get out of it becomes irrelevant, really. You want relationship, you want connection. Well, Jesus invites us to that. And as a church, we've created what's called living groups, where individuals meet, they gather to share, to live. However, the catch is community doesn't just happen. We've got to be intentional. There is really no small ministry here at City Centre. Every ministry plays its part to contributing and sort of joining what God is doing among us. And so whether you're serving as an usher, or whether you're helping with PowerPoint, or whether you're preparing coffee, everything is done as unto God and unto one another. And there is something amazing that happens in that process. We learn about commitment and sacrifice, and at the same time, we learn about God's faithfulness and His grace. And it's so cool when I hear that, because that's really what we're trying to continue here, and hopefully not just on a Sunday morning, but every day.